Coming up on Mountain News this morning, heavy rain leads to classes being dismissed early and schools being closed across our region. And Governor Andy Beshear praises Chris Stapleton for the hard work he did to help raise money for Eastern Kentucky after last year's flood.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. I'm Dakota Makris. It is Friday. Thanks so much for waking up with us. And for the latest school closings across the region, they're scrolling at the bottom of your screen this morning. Brandon, good morning to you. That rain did not let up last night at all.
No, it was pretty heavy still on the way in this morning, but it's starting to move out, but it could be replaced with something else here in the next few hours, some light snow. So we're going to continue to watch that very carefully throughout the day. Let's go to live pinpoint Doppler radar and show you what's going on right now. And we continue to track heavier bands of rain into parts of southwest Virginia, even parts of southeast and east Kentucky there. But see, to the west, that purple trying to show up out there, that's a little bit of winter mix. And then, of course, back toward Lexington, seeing some snow. You see a lot of green boxes, too. Those are river flood warnings that we're watching this morning, and we'll keep you posted on those as we get a little deeper to this newscast. We got a lot to talk about again this morning. We're looking again at visibility. It's a little bit less than 5-mile threshold there in parts of West Virginia and southeast Kentucky, East Tennessee out that way this morning, but hopefully that's not too bad. Temperatures, boy, what a swing there this morning. 50 in Clintwood, 54 in Grundy, 37 Moorhead, Somerset, Williamsburg, so they're dropping fast. Hazard is 37 too. That's some of our colder spots in the region. 37 Lexington. Look at that difference from this time yesterday. 20 to 22 degrees colder to the west, and still about several degrees colder to our south, but that's where the cold front is. Out the door forecast this morning. Again, I don't think it's going to be a major issue today, but we could see some light snow this afternoon, and it could, emphasis on the word could, bring some light accumulations, especially in the higher elevations. I'll talk more about that here in just a little bit. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, yesterday, several school districts in the Big Sandy dismissed early due to severe weather. In Johnson County, all students were on their way home by 1 p.m. But soon after, areas around W.R. Castle Elementary School, such as Wittensville and Tudor Keys, saw some flooding. Johnson County Emergency Management Director Gary McClure was also worried about weather conditions overnight with more storms, high winds, and the possibility of a freeze impacting morning commutes.
If this rain continues and then that switches, that temperature makes that significant drop, there's a possibility we could see some, slick highways.
There are many districts that already called off school for today, such as Johnson Pike, Floyd, Martin, and many more. You can find those school closings on WYMT.com and at the bottom of your screen. First responders had a busy afternoon yesterday due to the weather in Rockcastle County. In a post on the Mount Vernon Fire Department Facebook page, officials say large amounts of water caused multiple crashes on I-75. Firefighters advised drivers to watch out for slowdowns on the roads in case of more crashes. They also say to slow down and move over for emergency vehicles. Areas in our region that are still recovering from the flood in July saw issues caused by high water yesterday. In Breathitt County on Belch Fork Road, the creek ran even with the pavement last night, washing out roads to several homes not far from there. Crews had to respond to a large rock slide that closed Kentucky 52 in Magoffin County, and someone's car was washed off the pavement after driving through high water. And more than 6 months since the flood, two siblings from Knott County say their bond is stronger than ever. Siblings Ted and Margaret both lost their homes and found themselves living together in Ted's shop. As of late December, they say they finally moved into a new home and they are getting closer to normal.
Go about some of the things that you hadn't done since July. You can start getting back to normal by doing a few things and picking up trash and stuff.
Both Ted and Margaret say they still have a lot to do, but are thankful for the outpouring of help they've received. Some organizations received flood relief money from Kentucky's Safe Fund this past week. Jackson Energy Cooperative received more than $18,000. Letcher County Fiscal Court got more than $400,000, and the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet received $5 million. Well, Governor Andy Beshear says the funding is another step in a rebuilding effort that will take years.
It takes time. for the applications to come in. But we believe we have over $1 billion of damage just in water and wastewater. So significant resources are going to be needed in what is, I believe, the toughest rebuild the country has ever seen.
Well, the governor also says the Team Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund now has more than 41,000 donations and has raised $13.1 million. The governor named Chris Stapleton his Team Kentucky All-Star of the Week in his news conference. The singer, who grew up in Johnson County, sang the national anthem at the Super Bowl last Sunday. Stapleton has played in concerts dedicated to raising money for Eastern Kentucky after the flood. The governor says it is obvious that Stapleton has pride in the Commonwealth.
The Super Bowl is always fun to watch, but this year's game was even more special thanks to one of Kentucky's own. Chris Stapleton moved the entire country with his performance of the national anthem before the game. He is a dedicated Kentuckian, showing his love for his home of Eastern Kentucky in everything he does.
Johnson County Judge Executive Mark McKenzie also expressed his appreciation for Stapleton earlier this week, saying everyone knew he was singing from his heart. Well, thank you so much for getting your Friday morning started with us here on Mountain News this morning. When we come back, Japan is forced to cancel the first launch of the country's brand new rocket after its engines failed to ignite in time for liftoff.
And rain chances are winding down, but we are not out of the woods just yet. I'll tell you about what comes next in about 3 minutes.